Is there some way that you and Chewy, this is a great question for you. I've probably asked it before, but like how you maybe change some habits you don't like. Is there a way that you adjust, like get out of a bad habit?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like just stop fucking doing it. And that's like a crazy
that's a 23-year-old saying that.
Yeah. And I know it sounds crazy, but like seriously, like one of the things I had a problem with was drinking soda in high school. And then when I got to college, I was like, guys, like I should stop doing this. Like I know that sounds like this,
but how did you do it? Like I mean, there's addiction. There's a real addiction to sugar.
I know, like people, I understand, like there is, but this is like where, like I really do think like there's so much more power like in our mind than we think, like with stuff that we're addicted to. Like because obviously I was addicted to soda and I don't drink it anymore. But like one of the things that I literally just was like one day I was like, well, I want to be a fucking national champ. I'm gonna put that shit down.
See, that's the thing I think is important.
Yeah,
is like
having a why, you know?
Yeah. Because I remember I stopped drinking soda, and almost any negative habit I've ever done, I always had an idea, like an image of like what do I want. So I was gonna ask you that if you had like a good clear, like why do I need to stop drinking soda? I want to be a national champ.
Well, right. And that's what helps, again, like I talked earlier about having like confidence because of the little things you did. Like for me, it was like, I'm confident that if I stop doing this, then this happens. You know, like I'm confident if I go to jiu-jitsu practice long enough, you know, maybe 10 years from now, I'll be a black belt. Like, and I'm not afraid to like make commitments, and that could just be my personality type too. Yeah. And like, it really does sound stupid, but when I read David Goggins' book, like Can't Hurt Me, that's really like when like I elevated on that shit where I was just like, stop fucking doing it. And you know, I've never been addicted to drugs or nothing, but I guess soda is kind of a drug. Caffeine's a drug, you know, and just all the nasty shit that's in soda. But
we can be addicted to behaviors. I mean, you could be addicted to drugs, you could be addicted to porn, you could be addicted to all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So it's easier said than done is be like, I'm gonna stop doing it. But then it's like, I believe like it's really hard to microdose. Like it's like people try to like slowly wean off of stuff.
Sure.
Like, I don't believe in that. I think it's bullshit. I feel like you're just feeding into that still. Like, okay, I'll do a little bit today and a little bit less tomorrow, but oh fuck, I feel shitty. It's Saturday, but this used to be my cheat day. So like, let me just have like a whole 16-ounce thing of Mountain Dew. But you know, Monday I'll go back to like 4 ounces a day or something like. So like, I feel like you have to have like a goal, like a true why, and you have to like remind yourself like why is so important. Like you have to figure out who you want to be. And like, then you have to be like, okay, I'm going to stop being a little bitch and I'm going to decide to put this shit down and, you know, consume better things. Like for me, that was me and soda. Like that, like, that's like the big one. I've never really had anything else where I had to like really be like, stop. Cause like my friends, like thankful for McKenna, but like the people, like the circle that I want to be around is very specific. You know, I don't have friends outside of people who do jiu-jitsu or who wrestle. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to, you know, like, I want to be around people who like are like common stuff like me, and that's how I was in college, you know, and that's kind of how I'm probably always going to be. And because of that, like it makes it like the people I love to talk to, they train at Derby City, you know, so it makes it easy for me to go to Derby City. Like, so I never had like the bad influences, and when I'm around people who are shitty, I don't make them my friend. And sometimes if they try to be my friend, this might be a negative trait of mine, but I just like let them know like, hey, I don't like want to be associated with you. And that might be like a shitty thing, but like I really truly believe that like it's okay to like set your boundaries, and if you know your why, like no boundary is like too much. I mean, there's, you know, exceptions,
of course, but
like for me, like I really do believe having like that extreme mindset of being like, that is negative to me. No, I don't know. I can't relate to like anymore. At least I really don't feel like I can relate to someone who's like, man, it's so hard to just like drop it, because like, even though it might sound like bullshit, like my mindset is like, no, fuck that. Like, I'm going to stop doing that.
You've trained yourself
to
do that.
Yeah.
You've kind of like conditioned yourself. So like, for me, the big thing was environment. So like, and you kind of mentioned that. So you kind of said your why, your environment, and then like really you've kind of built those habits in, like just by those things, knowing what you want. Essentially, there's one more thing I think you had said, but for me, it's like you got to change your environment. So if you want to be in a positive, like, you want to be around like-minded people, right? So these people are world champions, or these people are like trying to achieve similar goals to what I want to achieve. So I know I can learn from them, or we're going to do it together, or we're kind of have the same process. So, I mean, I think it makes perfect sense. And like the why is really important. Like, why do you want to change these things?
Yeah.
Like, what's the what's the reason? Because if you don't have a strong,
then
like direction, like as to why you want to do it, then you're probably going to just fall off, and you're going to continue to, you know,
have accountability partners too.
Yeah,
that's that. Sure. I didn't say that, but that's like a huge thing. Is when I was in college, I had this guy named Brett Bradford. also won a national title with me, like the first year that I won.
Yeah.
And that was my fucking accountability partner. Like me and that guy were just like we're going to bed 9:30. You know, we're going to bed 10. We're waking up at 6. Like we're gonna get our extra workouts in this day, this day, this day. You know, we're gonna lift together like this on this day, this day, this day, and like we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna talking about your goals. Like we're gonna talk about our goals. Like which sounds like corny because how much can you talk about wanting to win a national title? Well, shit, not enough. Like me and him talked about like I don't know, like we kind of just made it like we made our identity, which can be negative, of course, because you are more than your sport, but like we made our identity in that moment, like into national, like we were already national champs before we won national titles, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So like we had to like go full, like all in, and having an accountability partner who can do that with you is really hard to find. Like, you know, like now that like I'm out of college, that is hard to find for me, but like still, like I have great people, like great coaches at Derby City. You know, I still have my friends in the wrestling world who like really help me stay accountable and stuff. But without a good accountability partner, it is going to be hard to like drop bad habits, because you need someone sometimes to be like, hey, you're being a bitch. Like, don't do that. Like, and Brett did that for me at like all throughout college.
Well, and being able to have someone to stoke the flames, you know, because if you're on a course, it can get lonely.
Yeah.
You know, so having someone to say, yeah, man, we're after this thing together. You know, it's like kind of like stokes the flames and keeps that excitement alive with it, where if you don't have anybody to talk to about it, it can be kind of depressing or lonely, because it really is when you're chasing after something, it's kind of it can be a lonely path, because, you know, like you said, like, I mean, like for instance, my best friend from high school, we wrestled together, we got into jiu-jitsu together, and then he started getting into drugs, you know, and a lot of my friends, like I had to get rid of them, because I was like, it wasn't that I didn't like them. It was just that, like, I don't want to be around someone that's like always doing drugs. And I don't want to be around someone that's always drunk. Yeah. You know, it's like, I don't want to. And I know what's going to happen. If I hang around you long enough, I'm probably going to do some drugs. I'm probably going to get drunk.
Yeah, dude.
So 100%. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Like for me, like as soon as, I think it was a few months ago, like me and you talked about like probably doing ADCC trials. And yeah, I think that was like June, the end of June is like when we talked about and Worlds. I haven't drank alcohol since July 4th. And that was like, I think that was like July 4th was like kind of when I was like, okay, like I'm really going to do this. Like I'm really going to try to like be good at this thing. And I was just like, I'm allowed to drink until after ADCC trials, or hopefully ADCC. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you never know what's going to happen, but I still believe that I'm going to fucking make it.
Sure.
And if I don't, then I guess I'll drink after that. Like I'll have a drink. But like until then, like I'm not touching any alcohol. And it's not that I love going out with my homies and getting a drink, you know, I do. Like I'm a young adult. And so I want to do that like every now and then. But like right now I'm just like, no, like since July 4th, that was like the last time I drank. I was like, no, like I'm not going to drink shit. Like, how did I win a national title? I didn't drink. I didn't drink soda. I didn't eat fatty food, like crazy fatty foods. I didn't eat bullshit. You know, I slept right. Like I did all like the little things right. And so like for me to be the most confident that I can be, like when Worlds comes in like a week and a half, and then when the trials come in like a month later, then I'll like when I go compete at those things, you're going to see like I'm going to do my best. You know, I don't really care if I win or lose. But I do care about how I prepared. Like winning or losing it's out of my hands in a way. Like I believe that. Like I believe it's just kind of like you do what you do and the results happen. And I'm totally okay with that because I'm more than the sport. But if I'm going to do it, I'm going to try my best, like in preparation for doing it. And so it's really easy for me to just be like, drop it. Like if this is bad, drop it. If this is good, do more of it. You know, it's like why I started training. Like I go other places to train the no-gi days versus the gi days. Like I don't do gi right now because I'm training for 2 really big no-gi tournaments. Like gi's not a bad thing. Like we said, it translates.
Yeah.
But like for me, I've like truly believe I'm going to train as much no-gi as possible so that when it comes time to do no-gi, like this is like the habit I formed. Like these no-gi habits.